Yes, I should have rushed out after her. But I didn't. I guess I was still in shock. So, to clarify, not the first time I had ever kissed a girl, but it was the first time I had been kissed by a girl who meant it. Lena had definitely meant it. And yes, Miss Katy Perry, whose infamous song was now rattling around my head like a demented earworm. I liked it. The question was, what was I going to do about it? I couldn't really process how I felt. Ironically, I guess the real question was, why didn't this bother me? I got through another cigarette before my head cleared enough to decide that I needed to talk to Lena. I grabbed my phone and called her number. Then I got a horrible sinking feeling as an unfamiliar ringtone began to sound, somewhere in my apartment. Oh God. I rushed to the closet, and there was Lena's leather jacket, and her phone was in the pocket. Shit. Then I thought, what if she has a panic attack? What if... I realized that there was literally nothing I could do except wait and hope that she came back. She didn't. The following day, Sunday, I had only one possibility: the coffee shop. I didn't even know for sure whether they opened on Sunday, but I had to try. I got to the coffee shop just after 10, and thank God they were open.
Hey there, what can I get you?
The barista asked with a smile. Hi, I said a little awkwardly. Is Lena in today? He thought a moment, then replied,
Lena, no. She works alternate Sundays.
Damn, I thought. Okay. Listen, I said. Lena left her jacket at my apartment last night. I need to get it back to her. You wouldn't happen to know her address? Would you?
No.
He replied apologetically.
I don't.
Could you look it up or something? I offered. I mean, he kind of looked a bit nerdy. You know?
Sorry,
He replied.
we're not allowed. I could get in a lot of trouble.
Shit, I thought. Okay, thanks anyway, I said, really overplaying my obvious disappointment. I guess I'll just have a cinnamon latte then. I gave him $20 and told him to keep the change. His eyes widened. It was a long shot, but it paid off. A short while later, as I was finishing my coffee outside with a cigarette, he came out to wipe the table and surreptitiously handed me a napkin with an address on it.
You didn't get that from me.
He whispered. I gave him a quick peck on the cheek and said thanks. Lena's apartment wasn't far. I think it took me about 5 minutes to get there. She was apartment 4B, and when I got to the door, I paused. Her leather jacket was folded over my left arm, and after the single-minded determination to get here, I suddenly had to ask myself, what was I going to say to her? Even after a few hours' sleep, I still hadn't even begun to process. Maybe I was reading it all wrong. I didn't know. I realized that I had absolutely no idea what I was going to say to her, and the only way to find out was to say it. So I knocked. No answer. I tried again, a little louder. Still no answer, but I thought I heard a movement inside. Third time. And this time I called out, Lena, it's Zoe. Please, I need to talk to you. This time I definitely heard movement, and a few moments later the door slowly opened. Lena looked dreadful. Her hair was a mess. Her eyes were puffy and red, and her makeup was streaked all over her face. She had obviously been crying. A lot. Oh, honey, I sighed.
Zoe,
She started to say. Something inside me switched automatically. Instead of the complicated issue of the kiss, I was overwhelmed with one thought. This girl needs my help. Not now, I said, stepping inside and shutting the door. All that can wait. I gently put my arm around her shoulder. Come on, come with me, I said, and guided her back inside. She gave no resistance, just moved slowly and quietly, like a sleepwalker. Where's the bathroom? I asked. She pointed and I took her there. She waited patiently as I found a washcloth, wet it, and began cleaning her face, wiping her eyes gently and cleaning off her smeared makeup. Then I got a towel and dried her off. Next, I found a hairbrush and ran it through her hair gently till she started to look more like her old self. Her eyes were still puffy and red, and she still looked dreadfully fragile. I smiled and said, "There now. That's better." Then I took her back to the living room, sat her on the couch, and brought a glass of water from the kitchen. "Drink," I told her as I sat beside her. I put my arm around her and watched her slowly sip her way through the water. She was still shaking a little. When she finished, I took the empty glass and put it down somewhere. Then I put my arms around her in a warm hug and just held her. In moments, the tears came and she began sobbing onto my shoulder. "That's okay, honey," I whispered gently. "Just let it out. I'm here." I knew she had to get through it. God knows, I've been there myself. I just held her close, gently stroking her hair and whispering, "It's okay." I realized that I was totally channeling my mom, and as terrifying as that thought was, it was exactly what she needed. Eventually, the tears subsided and she started to come out of it. She raised her head to look at me and said,
"Thanks."
I released my hug and let her compose herself as she found a tissue and dried her eyes. "I could use a cigarette," I said brightly. "You want a cigarette, honey?" She nodded, so I got my pack, lit one for her and then another for myself. "Feel better?" I asked.
"Yes.
She said quietly.
Thank you for being so nice to me."
"Didn't I tell you I'd help if I could?" I replied. Then we sat for a moment, enjoying our cigarettes. "So, what happened last night?" I asked. Then, before she could answer, clarified, "I mean, after you left, you got home okay? How did you get home?"
"I walked."
She replied simply. "You walked?" I cried in horror.
"Yeah.
She replied, using a small dish as an ashtray.
I can't drive, and I didn't have my phone, so I couldn't call an Uber."
I remembered the horrible feeling I got when I found she had left her phone in my apartment.
"So I walked."
She concluded. I had the awful vision in my head of Lena sobbing uncontrollably all the way home. "Oh God, Lena," I gasped.
I was kind of on autopilot."
She said, sensing my concern.
"It was only when I got home that it really hit me."
She didn't need to say any more. I understood. I took a puff of my cigarette, then something else she had said pulled me back. "Wait," I said. "You can't drive?"
"No."
She replied with embarrassment. "Is that because of the panic attack thing?" She thought a moment.
"Well, kind of.
She said.
Actually, that's where it started.
I took another puff and just let her continue.
When I turned 17, my dad said he'd teach me to drive, and it was great. I was excited. But as soon as I put my hands on the wheel, I just freaked totally. I thought I was going to die. After that, it just sort of became a thing, you know?
I got a chill down the back of my spine. "But that was definitely the first time?" I asked quietly.
Yes.
My mind was racing. I finished my cigarette and quickly lit another.
"I've been in therapy."
She said.
"A lot, but it doesn't help."
There was a thought in the back of my head, and it was yelling at me, but I didn't want to admit it, even to myself. I took another puff of my cigarette.
"Zoe,
Lena said.
are you okay?"
I took a breath and replied, "I think you need to talk to my Grammy."